Well, today I want to talk about fear or freedom. We have a choice every day. Do we want to live in fear? Do we want to live in bondage? Do we want to live in servitude? Do we want to be fearful in our lives? Fear of being alone, fear of not being enough, fear of loss, fear of death. Or, however, do we want to live in freedom, in faith, in love, that we have everything we need, that God will provide us everything we need? Napoleon Hill says, your mental attitude is the one and only thing that you have control of. And that's something we have to talk about every day internally and tell ourselves that every single day through affirmation, saying, you know what? Today is going to be a good day. I love that song. Today's going to be a good day. Well, we got to think about that. What does fear cause us in our lives? What are some of those debilitating things that fear causes? Mentally, fear causes anxiety, depression, phobias, fear of going outside, fear of meeting people, fear of relationships, fear of being alone, fear of relationships, fear of having too much, fear of success. There's also that. And fear, it manifests in so many different things. Mentally, it messes with your head and you have a singular focus on these things. And I've been through this fairly recently, very recently. And you really kind of have to go through the depths. And you have to see how that affects your life. If you surround yourself with all of the negativity and the bombardment, if you respond to that, because then you're going to have no good things coming out. The fruit of your spirit is going to be sour, bitter fruits. And that's going to be a bad thing. You're going to have bad time. Trust me. No one wants to be around an a-hole like that, because you're just going to be basically not a fun person to be around. Now, rather, if you live with freedom, if you have faith that you have everything that you need, you produce good fruits, fruits of happiness, joy, love, someone who you want to be around, someone who has enthusiasm for life. They have that spice for life. Someone that is just has the energy that you want to feel. You want to be a part of that. Now, this is individually, we have to tackle that on a daily basis. And if you want to change the world, you got to change yourself first. I'm not going to lie. I went down to the depths. Spreading all sorts of stuff. Even if it was true, it wasn't helpful. A lot of it was divisive and hateful, and it broke down me mentally, where I had to get to a bottom of base level where you're like, all right, I got to make a change in myself first before I can start preaching to anyone else. And that is really where we all have to come to. And it's really better if we come to that sooner rather than later. I wish I took that advice when I was a younger man. So fortunately enough, I've come to that point in my 40s where I can understand that now with more understanding and comprehension of how and why sometimes we need to go through that. So ultimately, all of these things, all these emotions and feelings stem from either fear or freedom. If we feel free, then we can accomplish anything. And it's not just some esoteric belief that, I can manifest things immediately out of thin air, but rather things will start happening in your life that you can't explain. Good things just start happening to you on a daily basis. And, you have to have that inception and conception of it where you can put two and two together and say, you know what? This is working. One of the things that I've realized back in 2014 when I had a very big life change was that if I started doing things for people without asking anything in return, it started coming back tenfold. And it may not be monetarily or with relationships or anything like that. But once I did that, and truly in my heart, when I didn't seek anything in return, I just wanted to do good for people and try to help as much as possible, then it opened up so many doors and pathways that I couldn't even understand what was happening. Now, on the other hand, fast forward, I kind of lost track of that. So I had to go back and really consult with some people that had more life experience than I did and understand why, how important that was, because I'd fallen away from my faith in freedom, and I was concentrating on things that were destroying me. It wasn't helping anyone, regardless. It was destroying me from the inside, and it was manifesting in all sorts of ways on the outside. I had the something that was producing good fruit, and I got away from the thing that was helping me produce that good fruit, and it was then producing bad fruit. Now I'm trying to get back to producing that good fruit, baby. You want to taste that sweet, tasty, juicy fruits like them mangoes and pineapples. I digress. I'm just playing there. But we ask ourselves, like, why would we consume these things even though we know they're hurting us on the inside? And because it feels good at the time, like all sin, like anything does. It feels good to be angry sometimes. It feels good to be prideful. It feels good to be lustful. You could look at the 7 deadly sins, and sin feels good. I'm not gonna lie. But it destroys us also. Each time we do that, it eats a part of our soul. It takes a part away from our soul until we're left with nothing, and we have to rebuild by producing good fruits. Doing good things for people without asking anything in return is one of the best ways to start producing that good fruit again. So I want to encourage you on this Saturday, baby, while we wait for the Eagles to produce that good fruit of a win. Look and see what you can do for someone else today, whatever it may be. Might even be just giving someone a hello and a smile and saying, I hope you have a great day. So I'm going to leave it with that. I hope you all have a great day, baby. I'm going to do a little series of on fear and freedom and faith, and try to get back to doing videos, because I want to take that personal responsibility. We're getting back at it, baby. Peace. Let's go, Birds.